I wanted to first thank all of the panelists today for your testimony and answering the questions. And Mr. Reedy, I wanted to speak directly to you. First of all, CF has had a place in my family. My husband lost a cousin about 30 years ago before groundbreaking technologies and treatments were available. And more importantly, my sister, Mary Lester, is a respiratory therapist at Keck Medical Center at USC and dealing with adult cystic fibrosis. So through her ears, through my ears, and I have experienced alongside her many of the struggles that patients like you go through. So thank you very much for being here in your testimony. I wanted to ask, in your testimony, you pointed out that you're fortunate to have comprehensive health coverage through your wife's employer. If your wife were to change jobs, choose to start a small business, or possibly take time off for education, you might end up in a situation where you'd have to change this coverage. And I wanted to know from you, how do the Affordable Care Act's protections for patients with pre-existing conditions provide a peace of mind that you'd never be without coverage?
Thank you for that question. Knowing that my wife or I could switch employers and still be adequately covered, it gives us a peace of mind that allows us to be flexible and explore new opportunities, potentially, that before the ACA may not have existed. Without the ACA, there's always that fear that leaving a job, if I went to another one, that I could still be denied insurance because of my pre-existing condition, or if my wife changed jobs, would they deny me coverage because of my pre-existing condition?
And thank you. And to follow up on that, what impact would an adverse decision in Texas case have on your wife's ability to change jobs?
Well, if the ACA was, if the ruling stands, my wife would have less of the opportunity to explore new opportunities. She's a teacher, so she's at a great place right now, but if she had to, she wanted to do something other than teach or switch employers, there's still that fear that we may be, or I may be, denied coverage or access to it. So it could lock her into where she is.
All right, thank you. One other question. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, the number of Americans with pre-existing conditions ranges from at least 23%, 61 million people, to as many as 133 million people. And prior to the Affordable Care Act, these Americans with pre-existing conditions could be denied coverage or charged an exorbitant premium to get coverage, something that my parents had experienced, both having high blood pressure at one point in their lives. Some families have even declared bankruptcy from high medical bills due to having a pre-existing condition. Today, however, insurance companies cannot discriminate against people based on their medical history. Mr. Reedy, without employer-sponsored health insurance or insurance through your family prior to the Affordable Care Act, do you believe you would have been able to attain affordable health insurance?
Before the ACA, I would have likely been denied coverage because of my pre-existing condition without the access to employer-sponsored health coverage. And the ACA provides me with the opportunity to be adequately covered on the individual market currently, and without them, I don't know if that would be possible.
Well, thank you so much for your testimony. I want to say I texted my sister to tell her I was going to be speaking with you today, and she sent me this message back that said, please make sure we help people with cystic fibrosis because these patients need to have their medical needs met, and it's extremely expensive illness. She said they didn't cause this disease, but they must fight it. And so thank you for your courage for being here. I appreciate it.